Welcome back, dear literature enthusiasts, to a space where we don't just watch films but immerse ourselves in their deeper currents, savoring the layers beneath every frame. If you cherish the art of storytelling as much as I do, and you delight in peeling back the cinematic veil to reveal richer meanings, then this journey we're about to embark on will feel like coming home. Before we dive into the heart of this story, I'd love for you to like and subscribe, not just as a favor, but as a shared commitment to exploring film as a vibrant dialogue between image and insight. Let's keep this intimate, thoughtful, and sincere, like a conversation among friends who know that movies are more than just entertainment. They're vessels for reflection, emotion, and discovery. Now, I want to be clear up front. This isn't your typical review. This is a deeply intellectual, theoretical, and critical analysis, crafted especially for those who love literature and appreciate the echoes of narrative craft in cinema. We're here not just to retell a story, but to listen for the beats beneath the dialogue, to feel the rhythm of themes that echo through myth and memoir alike. I approach this film with a personal lens, one tinted by moments in my own life when hope felt precarious and the impossible suddenly within reach, a lens that lets me connect the dots between a legendary racehorse and the human spirit's boundless will. Our story unfolds against the sweeping landscapes of American horse racing, a world where grit and grace collide under the roar of the crowd and the thunder of pounding hooves. At its center is a woman whose unwavering belief in the underestimated, be it an unproven horse or her own quiet strength, propels us into a narrative both intimate and epic. From the first shaky steps of a colt to the dizzying heights of the Triple Crown, the film traces a journey as much about the human heart as it is about speed and competition. Watching it, I felt drawn into that arena not just as a spectator, but as a witness to courage taking shape in sweat and sacrifice. The plot itself is a rich tapestry woven from threads of family struggle, personal redemption, and the indomitable spirit of a champion. We meet Penny Chenery, a woman suddenly thrust into the patriarchal world of horse breeding and racing after her father falls ill. Her story is one of quiet determination, navigating skepticism and financial hardship with a steely resolve that resonates deeply. Alongside her stands Secretariat, a chestnut colt whose raw talent seems almost mythical, his every stride echoing the great legends of the sport. The film takes us from modest stables to the grandeur of Churchill Downs, where history waits to be rewritten with every furlong. What struck me most was how the narrative balances moments of hushed doubt with eruptions of triumph, capturing the fragile tension between hope and fear that defines every great underdog story. But there's more here than just races and trophies. The film explores the complex relationships that fuel this odyssey, the bond between mother and daughter, the mentorship offered by trusted trainers, and the quiet rivalries that spur greatness. It dares to delve into the societal pressures faced by women in traditionally male domains, threading feminist undertones through scenes of boardroom battles and racetrack negotiations. These layers invite us to reflect on broader themes of legacy, identity, and the cost of ambition. I found myself thinking of stories I've read about pioneers who defied expectations and how their triumphs often come shadowed by sacrifice. The narrative's pacing mirrors a heartbeat, sometimes slow and contemplative, other times quickened by the rush of competition, drawing viewers into the lived reality of stakes both personal and public. Key elements surface throughout the film, teasing major twists that keep the tension taut. From Secretariat's initial failures, when doubts flicker in the eyes of owners and trainers, to his explosive victories that shift public perception, each moment builds toward an inevitable crescendo. The training sequences unfold almost as a dance, a choreography of trust and instinct between horse and rider, filmed with a painterly eye that captures not just speed but grace. Meanwhile, Penny's growing confidence challenges not just the racing world but her own family's expectations, creating a parallel arc that grounds the story's emotional weight. The film's climax, the Triple Crown itself, arrives not as mere spectacle but as the culmination of years of hope, heartbreak, and unyielding faith. It's here that the story's true magic is revealed. That greatness often requires us to transcend the limitations others impose upon us, and even those we impose upon ourselves. In those final moments, the film whispers a universal truth beneath the roar of the crowd. That champions are made not only by their victories, but by the unwavering belief that propels them forward. It's a message that resonates beyond racetracks, touching on the human capacity to dream, endure, and transform. As I watched, memories surfaced, of moments in my own life when perseverance felt like a solitary struggle, yet the tiniest flicker of faith sparked an unstoppable blaze. That's the gift this story offers. a mirror held up to our own struggles, inviting us to see ourselves in the gallop of a horse and the heart of a woman daring to defy the odds. So, as we prepare to delve deeper, I invite you to open your minds and hearts. Let's explore the layers beneath the surface, the cinematic choices, the thematic currents, the quiet moments between the thunderous strides. Together, we'll uncover what makes this film not just a recounting of a sporting legend, but a profound meditation on courage, legacy, and the unbreakable spirit that runs through us all. The early morning sun spills gently over the rolling hills of Meadow Stable, casting a golden haze across the dew-soaked paddocks. It is here, amid the soft rustle of hay and the rhythmic breathing of horses at rest, that the story begins, not with fanfare, but with quiet resolve. Penny Chenery, the daughter of a renowned horse breeder, steps into a role she never anticipated. Her father's sudden illness leaves the family's prized stable teetering on the brink of uncertainty. Watching Penny navigate the delicate dance of legacy and responsibility feels like observing a woman awakening to her own strength, a journey that resonates far beyond the world of horse racing. In those early days, Penny's steps are cautious, her decisions tentative. She is thrust into a male-dominated arena where skepticism shadows every move. Board meetings echo with doubt, trainers question her experience, and financial pressures press relentlessly. Yet beneath the veneer of uncertainty, a fierce determination kindles. The film gently peels back the layers of her character, revealing a woman learning to trust her instincts, to raise her voice amidst doubt, and to stand firm when the stakes feel impossibly high. It is a narrative arc that speaks to anyone who has faced the daunting task of stepping into unknown territory and carving a path with nothing but sheer will. Parallel to Penny's ascent is the story of Secretariat himself, a colt whose sheer size and spirited nature set him apart from the start. Early scenes capture Secretariat's awkward first steps, his powerful muscles barely contained beneath a sleek chestnut coat. Trainers and jockeys voice their doubts. His temperament is mercurial, his energy sometimes unchecked. Yet Penny sees beyond the surface, recognizing a raw potential others overlook. Watching Secretariat's training sequences, there is a palpable sense of emerging greatness, a promise that will soon burst into full bloom. The relationship between Penny and Secretariat unfolds with tenderness and grit, a partnership built on patience and trust, inviting us into the intimate world of human and horse intertwined. As the colt grows, so too does the pressure bearing down on Penny. Financial strains threaten the stable's future, and whispers of doubt grow louder. The film doesn't shy away from portraying these challenges with honesty. The difficult conversations with potential investors, the subtle prejudices faced by a woman asserting authority in a traditional world. Penny's struggles echo broader themes of resilience and courage, reminding us that the fight for recognition often requires more than talent. It demands tenacity in the face of systemic resistance. These moments deepen the film's emotional core, grounding the soaring ambitions in the soil of real human experience. Alongside Penny and Secretariat, key figures emerge who shape their journey. Lucien Laurin, the seasoned trainer, brings a calm, measured presence. His steady hand and quiet wisdom serve as both anchor and guide. The evolving trust between Penny and Laurin unfolds with graceful subtlety, their shared dedication bridging generational and gender divides. Their collaboration is a testament to the power of partnership, illustrating how great achievements are often born of mutual respect and complementary strengths. This dynamic enriches the narrative, adding layers of complexity and warmth. The stakes escalate as Secretariat enters the racing world, a realm both exhilarating and unforgiving. The film captures the tension and spectacle of the track with vivid immediacy, the thundering hooves, the tense silences before the gates open, the roar of the crowd swelling in waves. Secretariat's early races are a mixture of promise and setback, each performance a test not only of speed but of heart. The cinematic language here, sweeping crane shots, slow-motion close-ups, the pounding rhythm of the soundtrack, pulls viewers into the visceral experience of racing, allowing us to feel the weight of every stride and the breathless anticipation of every finish. Interwoven with these public trials are Penny's private battles, scenes of quiet reflection, moments spent by her daughter's bedside, conversations steeped in doubt and hope, anchor the narrative in intimate humanity. These moments contrast beautifully with the roar of the racetrack, reminding us that behind every champion is a constellation of sacrifices and dreams. The film's pacing mirrors this interplay, shifting between exhilarating highs and contemplative pauses, crafting a rhythm that is as emotional as it is kinetic. As the narrative approaches its midpoint, the promise of the Triple Crown looms large. Penny's resolve hardens, her vision sharpens, but the path remains fraught with obstacles. Financial pressures mount, relationships strain, and the relentless demands of training test the limits of all involved. The film embraces these tensions with sensitivity, portraying the complex interplay of hope, fear, and determination. It is a portrayal of struggle that feels both epic and personal, a reminder that greatness is seldom achieved without hardship. Throughout this unfolding journey, the film's cinematography and sound design deepen the immersive experience. Early scenes bathe the pastoral settings in warm, natural light, evoking nostalgia and possibility. Race sequences explode with saturated colors and dynamic camera movements, immersing the viewer in the exhilarating chaos of competition. The soundtrack swells and recedes with the narrative's emotional tides, underscoring moments of triumph and vulnerability alike. These artistic choices create a rich sensory tapestry, inviting us not just to watch, but to feel the story's heartbeat. By the time we reach the cusp of the Triple Crown races, the film has woven a complex tapestry of characters, challenges, and dreams. Penny Chenery stands transformed, from uncertain inheritor to a woman embodying resilience and vision. Secretariat, once a colt of untamed potential, strides into legend with every powerful gallop. Their intertwined journeys speak to themes of faith, perseverance, and the indomitable spirit that drives us to overcome even the most daunting odds. It is a story that resonates far beyond the racetrack, a narrative of human and equine courage racing toward destiny together. In those final moments before the climax, the film teases us with glimpses of the trials to come, the mounting pressure, the expectations of a nation, the fragile balance between hope and despair. We sense that what follows will not only test speed and skill, but the very essence of belief itself. And as the music swells and the camera lingers on Penny's determined gaze and Secretariat's powerful frame, we are invited to hold our breath, ready to witness a legend in the making. The final stretch unfolds beneath skies that seem to hold their breath, an expanse of possibility and peril, the air electric with anticipation. As Secretariat's journey reaches its most fevered pitch, every heartbeat, every hoofbeat, reverberates with the weight of history in the making. The colt, once doubted and underestimated, now carries the hopes of a woman, a family, and a nation eager for a new legend to be born. Penny Chenery's transformation reaches its crescendo, not only as a horse owner, but as a force of indomitable will, steering through a world reluctant to embrace change, yet powerless to halt the tide of destiny. The narrative picks up as the pressures of the Triple Crown series loom large, and the challenges multiply beyond the track. Penny faces not just the strain of competition, but the relentless scrutiny of a male-dominated racing world skeptical of her resolve. Scenes of tense meetings with financiers and racing officials unfold in stark contrast to the thundering vibrancy of the races themselves. Here, Penny's tenacity shines brightest. She pushes back against doubters, defends her decisions, and navigates the complexities of a world resistant to her leadership. It is a powerful exploration of resilience and the quiet revolution that her unwavering belief in Secretariat ignites. Secretariat's preparation for the big races is a delicate dance of endurance and trust. The film captures the meticulous attention to detail. The early morning training runs across mist-covered fields, the whispered exchanges between horse and trainer, the rhythmic cadence of hooves pounding against the earth. Each sequence is imbued with a sense of ritual, a communion of spirit and flesh preparing to face the crucible. Cinematography heightens the tension here, shifting from expansive, sweeping vistas to intimate close-ups of sweat-dappled flanks and focused eyes, immersing the viewer in the visceral reality of elite competition. The story's tension tightens with each race. The Kentucky Derby, the first jewel of the Triple Crown, bursts to life with the roar of the crowd and the explosive energy of the start. Secretariat's powerful stride and fierce determination electrify the scene, while Penny watches from the stands with a mixture of hope and apprehension. The narrative dwells on moments of near failure, the jockey's split-second decisions, the fleeting doubts flickering across Penny's face, the thunderous cacophony of hooves racing toward the finish. Secretariat's victory here is not just a win but a statement, shifting public perception and setting the stage for what is to come. Yet even triumph is tempered by challenges. The grueling pace of the Triple Crown tests Secretariat's limits, and doubts arise, both from competitors and within Penny herself. The film doesn't shy away from these moments of vulnerability, portraying the delicate balance between ambition and caution. A poignant scene unfolds in the quiet aftermath of the Derby, where Penny grapples with the pressure to push Secretariat harder while protecting his health. Her conversations with trainer Lucien Lauren reveal the depth of their bond and the shared burden of stewardship. These intimate exchanges deepen the emotional landscape, grounding the epic chase in human connection. As Secretariat approaches the Preakness Stakes, the film's energy intensifies. The race is depicted with breathtaking immediacy. Cameras track every surge and stumble. The soundtrack surges with pounding drums and swelling strings. Penny's presence at the track is a beacon of unwavering faith, her gaze locked on the horse she has nurtured through doubts and dangers. Secretariat's performance here, a triumphant display of speed and heart, cements his status as a contender for history. Yet the film carefully builds suspense, reminding us that the final race, the Belmont Stakes, will be the ultimate test. The Belmont Stakes arrives like a storm on the horizon. The film opens this sequence with a striking visual contrast. The sprawling, sun-drenched expanse of Belmont Park, its wide track a daunting challenge that demands both stamina and strategy. Secretariat's trainers and jockeys prepare with solemn focus, aware that the colt's legacy hinges on this moment. The tension is palpable, not just on the track, but in the mounting anticipation of spectators, the flashbulbs of reporters, and the silent prayers of those who have journeyed with Penny and Secretariat. As the gates burst open, the film slows time to capture the poetry of motion. Secretariat's powerful muscles ripple beneath his gleaming coat. The dust kicks up in slow arcs as he surges ahead of the field. The camera shifts perspectives, tracking shots from ground level, aerial sweeps above the crowd, and intimate close-ups that reveal the horse's fierce determination and the jockey's steely focus. The soundtrack blends the thunder of hooves with a swelling orchestral score, creating an almost mythic atmosphere. In this moment, the film transcends sport, evoking themes of transcendence and destiny. The race unfolds as a testament to endurance and spirit. Secretariat pulls away from his rivals with a breathtaking lead, setting records that echo through history. The crowd's roar crescendos into a triumphant anthem, while Penny's face, awash in sunlight and tears, reflects the culmination of years of hope and sacrifice. The film's editing juxtaposes the exhilaration of the race with flashbacks to earlier struggles, Penny's early doubts, the colt's training trials, the moments when victory seemed out of reach. This interweaving deepens the narrative, showing that triumph is built on the foundation of resilience. In the aftermath, the film lingers on the emotional resonance of victory. Penny's quiet moments with Secretariat, grooming him, whispering words of praise, reveal a bond forged through trust and unwavering belief. The public celebrations swirl around her, yet the film never loses sight of the personal journey beneath the spectacle. Scenes of interviews and press conferences underscore the societal impact of the win, highlighting how one woman's determination redefined a sport and inspired countless others. The narrative then turns to the legacy left in the wake of triumph. Penny reflects on the lessons learned, the cost of ambition, the power of faith, and the enduring bond between human and horse. The film's closing sequences weave together images of the racetrack, the stable, and family, creating a mosaic that honors both achievement and the quiet moments that make it possible. Cinematography bathes these scenes in warm, golden light, evoking a sense of peace and fulfillment. Throughout this unfolding story, key themes resonate with clarity and depth. The film explores the intersection of gender and power, portraying Penny's navigation of a male-dominated arena with nuance and respect. It delves into the nature of legacy, showing how determination can rewrite history and inspire future generations. The bond between human and animal emerges as a central motif, symbolizing trust, partnership, and the transcendence of limits. These thematic strands are woven seamlessly into the narrative fabric, inviting viewers to reflect on broader human experiences. As the credits begin to roll, the film leaves us with a sense of awe and inspiration. The story of Secretariat and Penny Chenery is not merely about racing. It is about the courage to defy expectations, the perseverance to chase dreams against all odds, and the power of belief to transform lives. It is a tale that lingers in the heart, reminding us that greatness is often born from humble beginnings and relentless hope. This cinematic journey concludes not with an end, but with an invitation to carry forward the spirit of determination and trust, to recognize the extraordinary in the everyday, and to remember that the greatest races are those we run within ourselves. In the tapestry of this story, the characters emerge not as mere players on a stage, but as living, breathing embodiments of the themes that pulse beneath the narrative's surface. Each figure carries within them a constellation of hopes, fears, flaws, and strengths, inviting us to journey beyond their immediate struggles and into the rich landscape of human complexity. At the heart of this film is Penny Chenery, a woman whose quiet determination and unwavering belief anchor the story's emotional core. Watching her unfold, I was reminded of so many pioneers, those who stand at the crossroads of tradition and change, balancing the weight of legacy with the fierce desire to forge new paths. Penny's character is crafted with layers of nuance that speak to her inner transformation. At first glance, she appears as a woman thrust into unexpected responsibility, her manner tentative, her confidence fragile. Yet beneath this veneer lies a steel forged through love and necessity. Her journey from uncertainty to empowerment is not marked by grand speeches, but by subtle shifts. The steadying of her gaze, the firming of her voice, the quiet insistence that she will not be sidelined. These moments felt deeply human, reflecting the way strength often arises in whispers rather than shouts. Her struggle to assert herself within a male-dominated sphere added a powerful feminist undercurrent, illuminating the systemic challenges women face in leadership roles, especially in traditionally patriarchal environments. Central to Penny's character is her relationship with Secretariat, a bond that transcends the usual owner and horse dynamic to become a profound partnership. She sees in Secretariat not just a promising racehorse but a kindred spirit, a symbol of untapped potential and resilience. This connection is portrayed through tender moments, the careful grooming of the colt, the quiet conversations in the early morning light, the mutual trust that builds through trial and triumph. Their relationship serves as a metaphor for the film's broader themes of faith, hope, and the courage to believe in the unseen. I found myself reflecting on the ways in which we all seek connections that ground us and propel us forward, even in the face of uncertainty. Secretariat himself is more than a mere animal hero. He is the embodiment of raw power, grace, and the spirit of possibility. The film's portrayal captures the duality of his nature, the wildness tempered by the training, the vulnerability beneath the muscular exterior. His physicality is cinematic poetry, every stride a brushstroke, every breath a rhythm in the symphony of the race. Yet beyond the spectacle lies a character defined by temperament and will. Secretariat's early struggles, his unruliness, his awkwardness, mirror the journey of growth that any great champion must undertake. He is both a force of nature and a patient learner, a figure that challenges us to see greatness as a process rather than an instant achievement. Lucien Laurin, the seasoned trainer, adds a vital dimension to the story's character constellation. His quiet wisdom and steady presence offer a counterbalance to Penny's fiery determination and Secretariat's youthful vigor. Laurin embodies experience tempered by humility. His approach to training is less about domination and more about partnership. Watching him interact with Penny and Secretariat, I was struck by the depth of his patience and his intuitive understanding of both horse and human nature. He serves as a mentor figure, not just in the practicalities of racing, but in the emotional navigation of ambition and risk. His understated authority challenges stereotypes of the brash trainer, offering instead a model of leadership rooted in empathy and respect. The supporting characters, from family members to jockeys and stable hands, each contribute vital threads to this narrative tapestry. Penny's husband, with his blend of skepticism and support, embodies the tension between traditional roles and emerging dynamics. The jockeys, whose skill and intuition on the track translate the film's themes into physical expression, bring urgency and tension to every race. Their personalities, some brash, some measured, reflect the spectrum of human responses to pressure and possibility. Stable workers and trainers provide texture, grounding the film in the realities of a world where labor and love intertwine. These characters, though sometimes peripheral, enrich the narrative with authentic voices and relationships. One of the film's most compelling character arcs is Penny's evolution from a hesitant inheritor of a legacy into a confident leader who redefines that legacy on her own terms. This transformation is neither linear nor without setbacks. The film thoughtfully explores moments of doubt, fatigue, and isolation that accompany her rise. Penny's struggles with self-doubt, her confrontations with entrenched sexism, and her balancing act between personal and professional spheres reveal a layered portrait of resilience. I found these portrayals deeply resonant, echoing the complexities many face in pursuit of their goals amid societal and personal obstacles. Secretariat's journey mirrors Penny's, reflecting themes of growth, endurance, and the triumph of spirit. The colt's trajectory from a promising but unruly foal to a champion capable of shattering records captures the essence of potential realized through perseverance and care. His character arc is heightened by moments of vulnerability, when injury or fatigue threaten to derail progress, and the steadfast dedication of those around him. Secretariat becomes a living symbol of the film's meditation on greatness, reminding us that achievement often comes through grace under pressure and the relentless pursuit of excellence. The dynamic between Penny and Laurin adds emotional depth and complexity. Their relationship is one of mutual respect and evolving trust, bridging differences in experience, gender, and worldview. Lauren's calm guidance tempers Penny's fiery ambition, while her fresh perspective challenges his traditional methods. Together, they embody a partnership that transcends hierarchy, illustrating how collaboration and openness can foster innovation and success. This relationship enriches the film's exploration of mentorship and the interplay between tradition and change. Secondary characters, though often less central, serve crucial narrative functions. Penny's children provide glimpses into her personal life, highlighting the sacrifices and motivations that drive her. Their presence humanizes her journey, grounding the high-stakes world of racing in family dynamics and emotional bonds. Rivals and skeptics introduce conflict and tension, their doubts and challenges serving as catalysts for growth. These interactions underscore the film's themes of overcoming adversity and the importance of belief in oneself and others. The portrayal of gender dynamics throughout the film offers a thoughtful commentary on the challenges faced by women in male-dominated fields. Penny's navigation of skepticism, condescension, and outright opposition is portrayed with nuance and realism. The film avoids simplistic portrayals of victimhood, instead emphasizing her agency, intelligence, and resilience. This thematic thread elevates the story beyond a sports drama, positioning it within broader conversations about equality and empowerment. The characters' emotional journeys are mirrored in the film's visual and auditory language. Close-ups reveal the flicker of doubt or determination in a glance. Moments of silence speak volumes in the spaces between dialogue. The score swells and softens in tandem with their internal rhythms, weaving an emotional tapestry that invites empathy and reflection. Through these cinematic choices, the characters are brought to life not only through action and speech, but through subtle cues that resonate deeply with the viewer. Ultimately, the characters in this story are reflections of universal human experiences, struggle and hope, fear and courage, doubt and belief. Penny Chenery's story is one of transformation and empowerment. Secretariat's journey embodies the realization of potential against odds. Lauren's presence anchors the narrative in wisdom and steadiness. Together with a rich ensemble of supporting figures, they create a vibrant, multifaceted world that invites us to see beyond the surface and into the heart of what it means to strive, to endure, and to triumph. In reflecting on these characters, I am reminded that their power lies not only in their individual arcs, but in the relationships they forge, connections that challenge, support, and inspire. It is through these bonds that the story's themes come alive, weaving a narrative that resonates long after the final frame. The film's characters are not just participants in a tale, but mirrors reflecting our own capacities for resilience, faith, and transformation. The making of this film was anything but ordinary, a journey filled with moments so peculiar, so unexpected, that they now linger as whispered legends among those who brought this story to life. From the very first day of shooting, the production seemed to attract a unique kind of energy, a mix of serendipity and surprise that turned the ordinary into the extraordinary. One of the strangest tales comes from the early days on set at the Meadow Stable locations. The production team had painstakingly recreated the farm's atmosphere to capture the authentic feel of a working horse stable, down to the smallest details: barn walls weathered by decades of wind and rain, hay bales stacked just so, even the scent of leather and fresh straw hanging in the air. Yet, during the initial shoot, crew members began reporting unexplainable phenomena. Lights flickered inexplicably during quiet moments, and sound technicians captured faint neighing noises when no horses were nearby. These odd occurrences sparked whispers of the stable being haunted by the spirits of horses and breeders who had long called the land home. Though met with skepticism, some cast and crew found comfort in the notion, claiming the presence lent a kind of magic to their work, as if history itself were watching over the production. Perhaps the most surreal event occurred during the filming of Secretariat's training scenes. The horse cast as Secretariat, a magnificent chestnut stallion named Ruffian's Shadow, was reputed for his calm demeanor. However, on one morning, just as cameras rolled to capture a crucial galloping sequence, the horse suddenly bolted off the track, dashing through the surrounding fields with an energy that startled everyone. Crew members scrambled to keep up, and the director faced the challenge of capturing this unexpected burst without endangering anyone. Remarkably, the footage of that wild run was used in the final cut, lending an authentic unpredictability that elevated the sequence beyond any scripted scene. This incident reminded everyone that working with animals is an art of embracing the unplanned, and sometimes that wildness is exactly what the story needs. The casting process itself yielded its own peculiar stories. Diane Lane, who portrayed Penny Chenery, was known for her meticulous preparation and deep immersion into her roles. To embody Penny's physicality and spirit, she spent weeks training with real horse trainers, learning not only riding skills but the rhythms and moods of horses. During one intense session, she reportedly slipped during a gallop and was caught just in time by her trainer. Instead of fear, she experienced a sudden, almost mystical clarity, which she later described in interviews as a moment of connection that transcended the physical. This experience informed her performance, infusing Penny's determination with a palpable authenticity. It's a reminder that sometimes the boundary between actor and character blurs in the most unexpected ways. The film's cinematography also harbored a strange charm. Darin Okada, the director of photography, opted to shoot many of the race scenes with vintage lenses to capture a softer, more nostalgic look. This choice led to some unusual technical challenges. On one occasion, the lenses produced ghostly flares and halos around Secretariat as he thundered down the track. Rather than correcting these flaws, the director embraced them, seeing in these luminous artifacts a metaphor for the mythic aura surrounding the horse. This artistic decision elevated the visual storytelling, giving the races a dreamlike quality that balanced realism with legend. Behind the scenes, the relationship between the human cast and the horses was a source of both delight and unexpected challenge. The animal handlers shared stories of horses, recognizing their human partners on set, often responding to subtle cues that directors and trainers struggled to understand. During a particularly emotional scene, the horse portraying Secretariat appeared to hesitate, as if sensing the gravity of the moment. Crew members interpreted this as an instinctual connection, a silent dialogue between species that added an intangible depth to the performance. This phenomenon echoed through production conversations, reinforcing the idea that storytelling is often a shared experience across all creatures involved. Another curious incident involved the film's score. Composer Stephen Edwards recorded parts of the soundtrack in a historic theater renowned for its exceptional acoustics. During one late-night session, Edwards and his orchestra began hearing faint whispers and rustling sounds, which initially disrupted their recording. Upon investigation, the theater staff revealed that the venue had once been a meeting place for secret societies, and stories of ghostly echoes were part of its lore. Rather than being spooked, Edwards incorporated these ambient sounds subtly into the final score, weaving an eerie yet beautiful layer into the music that subtly underscored moments of tension and introspection. The editing room also proved fertile ground for strange tales. Editor Stephen Markovich recounted how during the assembly of the race sequences, he discovered an odd continuity glitch where Secretariat appeared to have a different jockey mid-race, an error traced back to a last-minute switch of stunt doubles during filming. Instead of correcting it out of fear of disrupting the flow, Markovich found that the brief visual inconsistency actually added a layer of dynamism to the scene, reflecting the fast-paced chaos of the race itself. This willingness to embrace imperfection became a hallmark of the film's creative process, a testament to the power of intuition in crafting narrative flow. Even wardrobe and makeup had their share of unusual stories. The leather tack and racing silks were painstakingly recreated to mirror the era, with some pieces sourced from vintage collections. On one occasion, a racing jacket worn by Diane Lane's character reportedly disappeared overnight, only to be found days later hanging neatly in a nearby stable, as if returned by an unseen hand. The costume department took it as a good omen, believing the jacket's brief disappearance was a nod from the past, a symbolic passing of the torch from generations of racing legends. The communal spirit among the cast and crew often manifested in spontaneous acts of joy that lifted spirits amid the grueling schedule. Late-night jam sessions broke out between takes, with musicians from the crew and visiting artists blending blues and folk tunes that echoed the film's rural roots. Diane Lane, known for her quiet grace, surprised many by joining in with soft humming, creating moments of shared intimacy that transcended the professional environment. These informal gatherings became vital breathing spaces, infusing the set with warmth and camaraderie that seeped into the film's emotional fabric. The film's production also weathered natural elements that added unplanned texture to the scenes. During an outdoor shoot capturing Secretariat's gallops, a sudden summer storm rolled in, drenching the set and halting filming. Yet instead of seeing the rain as a setback, director Bart Kowiak recognized an opportunity. The drenched earth, the spray of water from hooves, and the storm's moody skies were woven into the sequences, amplifying the drama and lending a raw, elemental force to Secretariat's runs. This embrace of nature's unpredictability underscored a central theme of the story, that greatness often emerges amid the untamed forces of life. One of the more whimsical anecdotes involves a local farmer who volunteered his land for filming and brought his flock of sheep to wander near the set. During a crucial outdoor dialogue scene, the sheep unexpectedly meandered into the frame, providing an impromptu chorus that delighted the cast and crew. The unexpected appearance became an inside joke, and the sheep cameo was affectionately dubbed a symbol of good luck throughout production. The film's legacy is further enriched by the dedication of its animal trainers, whose patience and insight were vital in bringing Secretariat's story to life. Trainers shared tales of teaching the horses not just commands but moods and emotions, creating a language of trust that allowed for subtle performances on camera. One trainer recounted how a particular horse responded to classical music played softly before shoots, calming its nerves and enhancing focus. These human-animal bonds added layers of authenticity that resonate deeply with audiences. Even in post-production, the strange and wonderful persisted. The film's visual effects team experimented with subtle enhancements to the race sequences, seeking to capture the speed and power of Secretariat without sacrificing realism. During tests, a glitch caused brief flickers of an ethereal glow surrounding the horse, an effect that was initially deemed a mistake. After debate, the team decided to retain and refine this glow, using it sparingly to suggest Secretariat's almost supernatural prowess. This choice contributed to the film's mythic aura, blending fact and legend with cinematic artistry. As the film premiered, cast and crew shared stories of audience reactions that surprised and moved them. At one screening, a group of horse racing veterans were seen wiping away tears during a particularly poignant scene, moved not just by the story, but by the faithful depiction of a world they knew intimately. Conversely, some viewers were captivated by the film's quieter moments, the soft exchanges, the lingering glances, that revealed the depth beneath the spectacle. These responses affirmed the film's success in balancing action with heart, myth with humanity. In reflecting on these strange and fascinating behind-the-scenes stories, one sees that the making of this film was itself a kind of race, a journey marked by unpredictability, challenges, and moments of unexpected grace. The odd phenomena, the accidents turned treasures, and the quiet acts of devotion all weave together into a narrative that parallels the story on screen. They remind us that filmmaking is a living, breathing art, shaped not only by script and direction, but by the serendipitous magic that arises when people, animals, and moments align. These tales enrich our understanding of the film, inviting us to look beyond polished frames and scripted dialogue to the heartbeats and whispers that infuse every scene. In the strange and wonderful stories of its making, we find a mirror to the film's own themes, a celebration of perseverance, trust, and the extraordinary found within the ordinary. It is this alchemy of life and art that leaves an enduring imprint, transforming a film into a legend that lives long after the credits roll. The film opens with a quiet scene that seems almost mundane, a woman's hand brushing over a weathered photograph, an old ledger, a stable door swinging open to reveal the steady rhythm of hooves and the soft murmur of whispered hopes. Yet beneath this gentle beginning lies a story brimming with tension, struggle, and triumph, a narrative that invites us to look deeper into the meanings behind every frame, every gesture. It is within these early moments that the film sets the tone for a journey not just about racing, but about resilience, legacy, and the indomitable spirit that courses through both horse and human. One of the most significant events occurs early in the narrative, Penny Chenery's decision to take the reins of Meadow Stable after her father's illness. From a critical perspective, this moment transcends a simple plot point. It functions as a thematic fulcrum around which the story pivots. Penny's assumption of leadership challenges the patriarchal structures deeply embedded within the horse racing industry. Her entrance into the male-dominated world of breeding and racing is portrayed with sensitivity and nuance, capturing the subtle and overt barriers she must confront. Critics have lauded this portrayal for its feminist undertones. Rather than a token acknowledgement, it is a profound exploration of gender dynamics, ambition, and societal expectations. This event resonates emotionally with viewers, especially those familiar with narratives of women breaking through systemic constraints. The film's portrayal of Secretariat's early struggles is equally rich with critical import. His initial unruliness and the doubts cast upon his potential serve as metaphors for the journey of self-realization and acceptance. From a narrative theory standpoint, Secretariat embodies the archetype of the underestimated hero, whose latent greatness unfolds through perseverance and faith. This motif is deeply rooted in literary tradition, echoing the hero's journey found in myth and legend. The filmmaker's choice to emphasize Secretariat's imperfections humanizes the animal, creating an emotional bridge that invites empathy and investment from the audience. This portrayal challenges the simplistic perfect champion trope, instead offering a textured, realistic depiction of growth and vulnerability. A pivotal sequence is Secretariat's first major race, the Kentucky Derby, which the film stages with meticulous attention to detail. Cinematically, this race functions as both a climax and a turning point, utilizing dynamic camera work, editing, and sound design to immerse viewers in the visceral thrill and peril of the event. From a critical lens, the Derby encapsulates the film's tension between individual ambition and public spectacle. The narrative intercuts between Secretariat's powerful gallop and Penny's anxious vigil, creating a dual perspective that amplifies emotional engagement. This editing choice reflects a sophisticated understanding of narrative pacing and audience psychology, allowing viewers to inhabit both the physical and emotional stakes simultaneously. The Preakness stakes follows as a narrative and thematic intensification. Here, the film delves deeper into the cost of greatness, exploring the physical and psychological toll of relentless competition. Secretariat's visibly strained condition and the worries voiced by his trainers and Penny underscore themes of sacrifice and endurance. Critics have highlighted the film's honest depiction of these challenges, noting that it avoids glorifying victory at the expense of complexity. Instead, the story honors the grit and pain underlying triumph, aligning with contemporary shifts in sports narratives that emphasize athlete well-being and holistic storytelling. The Belmont Stakes sequence stands as the film's emotional and cinematic apex. From a critical viewpoint, this race is more than a contest of speed. It is a symbolic crucible where themes of destiny, perseverance, and legacy converge. The filmmaker's use of slow motion, sweeping aerial shots, and a swelling orchestral score elevate the race to mythic proportions, transforming Secretariat's victory into a near-sacred event. This cinematic treatment invites comparisons to epic storytelling traditions, situating a modern sporting event within a timeless narrative framework. Scholars of film have noted how this sequence embodies the convergence of spectacle and meaning, appealing to both visceral excitement and reflective contemplation. The film's emotional resonance is heightened by its exploration of Penny Chenery's personal journey alongside Secretariat's public triumph. Scenes depicting Penny's moments of doubt, exhaustion, and quiet reflection deepen the narrative's psychological complexity. These portrayals challenge traditional sports biopic conventions that often focus solely on external achievements. Instead, the film embraces an inward gaze, examining the costs and rewards of ambition on personal identity and family dynamics. This nuanced approach enriches audience engagement, inviting viewers to consider the multifaceted nature of success and the interplay between public acclaim and private sacrifice. Critical perspectives also draw attention to the film's thematic engagement with legacy and history. Penny's navigation of Meadow Stable's financial and social challenges reflects broader cultural conversations about inheritance, stewardship, and change. The film situates her story within the continuum of tradition and innovation, emphasizing the tensions between honoring the past and forging new paths. This thematic thread resonates with contemporary audiences grappling with questions of cultural continuity and transformation, rendering the film relevant beyond its immediate narrative. The portrayal of human-animal relationships is another rich vein of analysis. Secretariat is depicted not merely as a competitor, but as a sentient partner whose instincts, moods, and personality are integral to the story. The film's attention to the subtle exchanges between horse and human, glances, gestures, and rhythms, invites reflection on empathy, communication, and the boundaries between species. From an ethical and philosophical standpoint, this portrayal challenges anthropocentric narratives, suggesting a more integrated and reciprocal understanding of our relationships with animals. This theme adds depth and originality to the film, distinguishing it from conventional sports dramas. The reception of these events by audiences and critics alike speaks to the film's successful synthesis of spectacle and substance. Reviews frequently commend the film's ability to balance thrilling race sequences with intimate character moments, creating a narrative rhythm that is both engaging and profound. Audience responses reveal a strong emotional connection, with many viewers citing the film's portrayal of perseverance and belief as deeply inspiring. This reception highlights the film's capacity to transcend genre boundaries, appealing to both sports enthusiasts and those drawn to human drama and cultural commentary. Moreover, the film's critical success has sparked broader discussions about the representation of women in sports narratives and the ethical dimensions of animal-centered storytelling. Scholars and commentators have praised the film for foregrounding Penny Chenery's leadership in a field often overshadowed by male figures, contributing to evolving discourses on gender equity in cinema. Similarly, the respectful and nuanced portrayal of Secretariat has prompted conversations about the responsibilities of filmmakers in depicting animals authentically and empathetically. In conclusion, the significant events of the film, Penny's ascendancy, Secretariat's evolution, the climactic races, serve as focal points for rich critical analysis. These moments illuminate themes of resilience, gender, legacy, and interspecies connection, woven together with cinematic artistry that elevates the narrative to a compelling exploration of human and animal spirit. The film's impact and reception testify to its success in marrying thrilling spectacle with emotional depth, creating a story that resonates on multiple levels and invites ongoing reflection. Through these lenses, the film emerges not just as a biopic of a legendary racehorse, but as a profound meditation on the pursuit of greatness and the complexities of belief. The making of this film was a journey steeped in both reverence and innovation, a dance between honoring a storied past and crafting a cinematic experience that would resonate with modern audiences. From the earliest days of development, the filmmakers were acutely aware of the weight they carried, not only the responsibility to tell Secretariat's legendary story, but to do so in a way that captured the emotional heartbeat behind the history. This meant assembling a team as passionate and meticulous as the story demanded, and setting out on a production path that would test their creativity, patience, and resolve. One of the most notable aspects of the filmmaking process was the commitment to authenticity. The producers and director Andrzej Bartkowiak embarked on extensive research, visiting the original Meadow stable and consulting with those who had known Penny Chenery and Secretariat personally. They pored over archival footage, photographs, and racing records, determined to weave factual detail seamlessly into the film's narrative fabric. This dedication to accuracy extended beyond historical events. It influenced the very texture of the film, from costume design to set decoration, to the behavior and movements of the horses themselves. Recreating the world of 1970s horse racing required painstaking attention to detail. The production design team faced the challenge of building authentic stables, racecourses, and training facilities that felt lived in and true to the era. For the Meadow stable sequences, they constructed full-scale replicas, carefully sourcing period-appropriate materials and props. The effort to capture the weathered textures of barn wood, the metallic sheen of early racing silks, and the dusty grit of dirt tracks created a tactile world that enveloped both cast and crew. The sense of place was so convincing that many on set reported feeling transported in time, a sensation that deeply informed performances and filming. Working with the horses presented its own set of challenges and surprises. Secretariat was portrayed by multiple horses, each chosen for specific traits suited to different scenes, some for speed, others for temperament or appearance. Trainers and animal handlers worked closely with the cast, especially Diane Lane, to build trust and understanding with the animals. Diane's dedication extended to spending hours learning riding and horse care, a process that deepened her connection to the role and to the animals. There were moments when the unpredictability of working with horses required on-the-fly adjustments, a sudden bolt here, a hesitant step there, that the crew met with a mix of professionalism and affection. The horses' natural behaviors often lent authenticity and nuance that no amount of direction could replicate. One memorable behind-the-scenes anecdote involves a particularly challenging scene where Secretariat's stamina was to be showcased through a grueling training sequence. The production scheduled filming early in the morning to capture the soft glow of dawn, a decision praised by the cinematographer for its atmospheric lighting. However, on the day of shooting, the weather took an unexpected turn, with thick fog enveloping the set. Instead of postponing, the director embraced the mist as an evocative element, turning the scene into a haunting visual metaphor for struggle and perseverance. The fog lent a dreamlike quality, blurring the edges of reality and myth, a serendipitous enhancement that underscored the film's themes. The choreography of the race sequences was a feat of coordination and innovation. Staging fast-paced horse races for the camera required balancing safety, realism, and cinematic spectacle. The director and stunt coordinators devised elaborate setups, using multiple camera angles including cranes, helicopters, and mounted rigs to capture the energy of the races. They employed both practical effects and subtle visual effects to amplify speed and impact while maintaining a naturalistic feel. One interesting technical detail was the use of high-speed cameras to film Secretariat's gallop, allowing for slow-motion sequences that revealed the graceful power of the horse's muscles in motion. These shots became some of the film's most iconic, conveying the beauty and intensity of racing in a way that transcended mere action. Costume design also played a critical role in grounding the film's period setting and character development. Adrutha Lee, the costume designer, researched vintage racing silks, paddock attire, and casual wear of the 1970s to dress the characters in a manner that was both authentic and expressive. Diane Lane's wardrobe evolved with Penny's character arc, moving from softer, uncertain tones to sharper, more confident styles that visually mirrored her growing empowerment. The vibrant colors of the jockeys, silks, provided a dynamic visual contrast during the race scenes, and Lee worked closely with the production team to ensure every piece, from the sheen of leather boots to the fit of helmets, felt true to the era and the story. The soundtrack added another dimension to the film's atmosphere. Composer Stephen Edwards crafted a score that blended traditional orchestration with subtle contemporary elements, aiming to evoke both the grandeur of the races and the intimacy of Penny's personal journey. Recording sessions took place in a renowned studio with a full orchestra, and Edwards experimented with layering ambient sounds, hoofbeats, crowd murmurs, the creak of leather tack, into the musical textures to create an immersive experience. An interesting tidbit is that some of the track's percussive elements were inspired by the rhythm of a horse's gallop, providing a heartbeat-like pulse that runs throughout the score. This creative integration deepened the audience's sensory connection to the story. Behind the camera, the relationship between director Bart Kowiak and his cast was marked by mutual respect and collaboration. Diane Lane has spoken in interviews about the director's openness to input, creating a supportive environment where actors could explore their characters' emotional depths. Bart Kowiak encouraged moments of improvisation, especially in quieter scenes, to capture genuine reactions and interactions. This approach contributed to the film's balance of sweeping spectacle and intimate humanity. DMX, cast in a supporting role, brought his own energy and authenticity to the production, blending his musical sensibility with a commitment to his character's emotional complexity. The editing process was a labor of love, with editor Stephen Markovich carefully weaving together sprawling footage into a coherent and emotionally resonant narrative. Early cuts of the film were longer and more detailed, but through collaboration with the director and producers, the film's pacing was honed to maintain tension and engagement without sacrificing depth. Markovich has recounted the challenge of balancing the kinetic energy of race sequences with the quiet, reflective moments that develop character and theme. His editing choices, lingering shots, rhythmic cuts, and well-timed montages helped to create the film's distinctive flow, where adrenaline and contemplation exist side by side. A charming production story involves a local community near one of the shooting locations, where residents embraced the film's presence with warmth and enthusiasm. The crew invited locals to be extras in crowd scenes, and the interaction sparked a festive atmosphere that lifted morale during long days of filming. Diane Lane and other cast members participated in impromptu meet and greets and even helped organize a neighborhood barbecue, fostering a sense of shared purpose and celebration. This connection between filmmakers and community added an intangible warmth to the production, enhancing the film's spirit of togetherness and legacy. Technological innovation also found its place in the production. The visual effects team employed cutting-edge digital techniques to enhance certain scenes without overshadowing the film's naturalistic style. For example, subtle digital enhancements were used to extend crowds at racetracks or to smooth transitions between shots featuring different horses portraying Secretariat. These effects were deliberately restrained, designed to support rather than dominate the storytelling. The team's philosophy, invisible effects, helped maintain the film's grounded aesthetic while allowing it to achieve cinematic grandeur. The film's marketing and promotional campaigns embraced its dual appeal as both a sports drama and an inspirational story. Trailers highlighted Secretariat's breathtaking victories alongside Penny's personal struggles, framing the film as a celebration of perseverance and belief. Behind the scenes, the cast and crew participated in interviews, panels, and public events, sharing anecdotes and insights that deepened audience engagement. Diane Lane's portrayal of Penny Chenery was widely praised, and her thoughtful discussions about the character's complexities helped shift public perceptions of women's roles in sports and leadership. Years after the film's release, many involved in its creation reflect on the experience as a formative chapter in their careers. The production's unique blend of historical reverence and creative experimentation provided fertile ground for artistic growth. Cast and crew members often speak of the camaraderie forged on set, the shared dedication to telling a meaningful story, and the collective joy of bringing Secretariat's legend to life. These reflections highlight the enduring impact of the film not only on audiences, but on those who lived its making day by day. In the end, the production of this film stands as a testament to the power of collaboration, passion, and vision. From the authenticity of its settings to the nuanced performances, from the innovative technical work to the heartfelt moments captured on camera, the filmmaking process was itself a story of determination and artistry. These behind-the-scenes insights and fun facts reveal the layers of care and creativity that transformed a historic tale into a vibrant cinematic experience, one that continues to inspire and captivate, much like Secretariat's own legendary gallop across the finish line. The film opens not just with a scene but with a world, one that breathes and pulses with a quiet authenticity that sets the tone for the journey ahead. The sprawling landscapes of Meadow Stable, with their rolling pastures and weathered fences, immediately invite the audience into a space where history and hope intertwine. These settings are more than mere backdrops, they are characters themselves, each contributing texture and meaning to the unfolding story. The production's choice to film on location at actual horse farms and racecourses lends a tangible realism that grounds the narrative. Meadow Stable, recreated with meticulous care, embodies the legacy of generations who toiled under the sun to breed champions. The worn barn doors, the sun-bleached wood, the scent of fresh hay and leather. These sensory details are captured through intimate camera work that lingers on the tactile and the tactile's subtle poetry. The stable's atmosphere conveys not only a place of work but a sanctuary of dreams, a crucible where patience and passion merge. As the story progresses to the racetracks, the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, and Belmont Stakes, the settings expand in scale and grandeur. Churchill Downs, with its iconic twin spires and bustling crowds, emerges as a vivid symbol of tradition and spectacle. The cinematography here captures the thrill of competition, the roar of the crowd, the thunder of hooves, the fluttering of colorful silks, with a kinetic energy that propels viewers into the heart of the race. Sweeping aerial shots reveal the vastness of the arena, while ground-level close-ups immerse us in the visceral intensity of the moment. The film's visual language during these sequences balances epic scale with human intimacy, making every victory and setback feel immediate and profound. The sound design amplifies this atmosphere, layering the pounding hooves with the crescendo of orchestral music and the palpable tension of breath held and released. The interplay of visual and auditory elements crafts a sensory experience that mirrors the emotional stakes of the story, inviting viewers to feel the exhilaration and the gravity of each race. In quieter moments, the film turns to more intimate settings, the family home, the stable's paddocks, and the private corners where characters confront their fears and hopes. These spaces are lit with softer, warmer tones, the camera often employing shallow focus to isolate faces and expressions, drawing attention to the nuanced performances. The contrast between these intimate scenes and the roaring racetracks underscores the duality of the narrative, the public spectacle and the private struggle. The costume and production design further enhance the film's atmosphere, meticulously recreating the fashion and decor of the 1970s. Penny Chenery's wardrobe evolves in tandem with her character arc, shifting from conservative, understated pieces to more confident and assertive styles. This visual progression reflects her growing empowerment and command of her world. Similarly, the vibrant colors of the jockeys, silks, punctuate the racetrack scenes with bursts of energy, contributing to the dynamic visual palette. Color grading plays a subtle but powerful role in setting mood and tone throughout the film. The pastoral scenes are bathed in soft, golden light, evoking nostalgia and warmth. Race sequences utilize heightened saturation and contrast to capture the intensity and speed of competition. Night scenes and moments of introspection lean into cooler hues and muted tones, reflecting vulnerability and contemplation. These choices guide the audience's emotional response, aligning visual cues with narrative beats. The film's editing rhythm adapts to the setting, flowing between the languid pace of rural life and the breakneck tempo of the races. Long takes in the stable invite reflection and connection, while rapid cuts during races convey adrenaline and chaos. This dynamic editing style mirrors the story's emotional landscape, allowing the film to breathe in moments of calm and surge in moments of crisis. The use of natural light in outdoor scenes lends authenticity and texture, capturing the shifting moods of the sky, from the soft dawn that heralds new beginnings to the harsh midday sun that tests endurance. Interior scenes utilize practical lighting, such as lamps and windows, to create intimate spaces that feel lived in and real. The cinematographer's eye for detail ensures that every shadow and highlight serves the story's emotional truth. Soundscapes complement the visual storytelling, with ambient noises, birdsong, wind rustling through trees, distant calls of farm animals, embedding the audience in the setting's sensory world. The nuanced layering of sound creates a rich tapestry that enhances immersion, whether in the quiet of a stable or the roar of a crowded racecourse. The film also employs symbolic visual motifs connected to setting. The recurring imagery of fences and gates, for instance, speaks to themes of boundaries and freedom, both physical and metaphorical. Shots of horses grazing peacefully contrast with their explosive bursts of speed on the track, illustrating the tension between nature and ambition. These elements deepen the narrative, inviting viewers to engage with the story on a symbolic as well as literal level. In moments of high drama, such as Secretariat's defining races, the interplay of camera movement and setting becomes especially poignant. The camera's fluid tracking shots mirror the horse's gallop, creating a visceral sense of speed and power. Tight close-ups capture the strain and determination on jockeys' faces, while wide shots showcase the expanse of the racetrack and the energy of the crowd. This choreography of camera and setting immerses viewers in the thrill and gravity of competition. Throughout the film, the settings serve as mirrors and catalysts for character development. Penny's evolving relationship with the farm and the racing world reflects her personal growth, from outsider to leader. Secretariat's movement through different environments, from stable to track to victory podium, charts a journey of transformation and triumph. The careful crafting of these spaces ensures that setting is never passive, but an active participant in storytelling. The film's production design team also paid close attention to smaller details that enriched the setting's authenticity. Props such as period-accurate tack, racing equipment, and stable tools are chosen not just for historical accuracy, but to convey the tactile reality of life at the track. These elements ground the story, making the world believable and textured. In sum, the film's settings and cinematic elements work in harmonious concert to create an immersive, emotionally resonant experience. Each location is chosen and rendered with purpose, each shot composed to enhance mood and meaning. The film invites viewers to inhabit a world where past and present collide, where dreams are chased across fields and tracks, and where every frame pulses with the rhythm of hope, struggle, and ultimate triumph. Through this rich visual and sensory tapestry, the story of Penny Chenery and Secretariat unfolds not just as a recounting of events, but as a profound meditation on courage, legacy, and the pursuit of greatness. I'm ready to craft that immersive 3,500-word script on filmmaking techniques and box office production for your YouTube channel, Frame Shift, in the same personal, story-driven style. Here's the direct script you requested. The story of this film is told not only through its script or performances, but through a rich symphony of filmmaking techniques, each carefully orchestrated to breathe life into the narrative. From the moment the camera first rolled, the filmmakers embarked on a quest to capture not just the physical grandeur of horse racing, but the intangible pulse of human emotion beneath it. It's a dance of light and shadow, rhythm and silence, motion and stillness, a cinematic choreography that transforms history into an experience. At the heart of this visual symphony lies the cinematography, where the work of Darin Okada stands as a masterclass in balancing grandeur with intimacy. His choice of lenses, lighting, and camera movement was pivotal in shaping the film's atmosphere. Early scenes at the Meadow Stable are bathed in soft, natural light, evoking nostalgia and warmth. Okada favored wide, sweeping shots here, rolling pastures stretching endlessly, horses silhouetted against dawn skies, to immerse the viewer in the rural beauty that frames Penny Chenery's world. Yet within these wide vistas, the camera would often slip into close, personal frames, capturing a flicker of doubt in Penny's eyes, the focused gaze of a trainer, the rhythm of a horse's breath, reminding us that greatness often begins in quiet, almost invisible moments. The use of lighting throughout the film is deliberate and symbolic. Interiors are lit with warm, often golden hues, conjuring a sense of home and heritage. Contrastingly, the racetrack sequences explode in vibrant, saturated colors, blazing sunlight reflecting off polished silks, the verdant greens of the turf, the sharp whites of fences and railings. This contrast in palette mirrors the tension between Penny's private struggles and the public spectacle of racing. Night scenes and moments of introspection lean into cooler, subdued lighting, enveloping characters in shadows that speak of uncertainty and contemplation. These lighting choices sculpt mood and tone, guiding the audience's emotional journey without a single word spoken. Perhaps the most thrilling technical challenge was capturing the kinetic energy of the races themselves, sequences that demand both precision and poetry. The filmmakers employed an array of camera rigs, including cranes, steadicams, and even helicopter-mounted cameras, to track Secretariat's gallop with breathtaking fluidity. One of the film's most iconic sequences uses high-speed cameras to record Secretariat's strides in slow motion, revealing the sheer power and grace of each muscle in motion. These slow-motion shots do more than showcase athleticism. They transform the race into a visual metaphor for transcendence, turning pounding hooves into waves of pure will. The editing, under the deft hands of Markovich, further enhances this narrative rhythm. The pacing shifts masterfully between the languid, meditative moments of stable life and the urgent, pulse-bounding chaos of race day. Markovich's cuts are not merely transitions but emotional cues, lingering on a worried glance, slicing rapidly through scenes of competition, or weaving flashbacks into the present to layer meaning. The editing choices shape the viewer's experience, accelerating the heartbeat when adrenaline surges and slowing it down when reflection takes hold. Sound design plays an equally vital role in constructing the film's immersive world. The pounding of hooves is layered with crowd roars, the sharp crack of starting gates, and the whisper of wind across open fields. Foley artists meticulously captured the nuances of horses, movements, the slap of hooves on turf, the rustle of leather reins, the heavy breathing after exertion, drawing the audience deeper into the visceral reality of racing. Composer Stephen Edwards' score weaves these sounds into an emotional tapestry, blending swelling orchestral themes with subtle ambient textures. The music rises to anthemic heights during race sequences, echoing the characters' triumphs, and retreats into intimate motifs during personal moments, reflecting vulnerability and hope. The film also embraces innovative storytelling through its use of visual effects. While largely practical in approach, subtle digital enhancements were employed to extend crowds and smooth continuity, ensuring the racing sequences maintained both realism and spectacle. These invisible effects respected the film's grounded aesthetic, demonstrating how modern technology can serve narrative without overwhelming it. The glowing halos occasionally seen around Secretariat in critical moments, an unintentional artifact refined into a stylistic choice, imbue the horse with an almost mythic presence, blending fact with legend in visual form. Behind the scenes, the collaboration between director Andrzej Bartkowiak and his creative team was marked by a shared vision to honor the story's emotional core while embracing cinematic craft. Bartkowiak's background in action filmmaking lent a kinetic energy to the races, while his sensitivity to character ensured the film never lost its human heart. His directing style encouraged improvisation and emotional honesty, allowing actors to inhabit their roles fully and authentically. This synergy between technical mastery and heartfelt storytelling is palpable throughout the film. The production design is another cornerstone of the film's atmospheric success. Meticulous attention was paid to recreating the 1970s milieu, from the period-accurate racing silks and jockey uniforms to the interiors of stable offices and family homes. These details serve not only to situate the narrative in time, but to enrich character and theme. Penny's evolving wardrobe subtly visualizes her transformation, from uncertain novice to confident leader, while the contrasting textures of the stables, racetracks, and cityscapes underscore the multifaceted world she navigates. Financially, the film carved a notable presence in the box office landscape. With a moderate budget typical for a sports biopic, it leveraged the universal appeal of its story to reach diverse audiences. The timing of its release, coinciding with increased public interest in inspirational true stories, helped propel its success. Domestic box office figures reflected strong initial turnout, particularly among demographics drawn to family drama and sports genres. Its performance was buoyed by positive word-of-mouth and critical acclaim for Diane Lane's performance and the film's visual grandeur. Internationally, the film found receptive audiences in markets with strong horse racing traditions, such as the United Kingdom and Japan, where cultural affinities for the sport deepened engagement. The film's universal themes of perseverance and hope transcended cultural boundaries, enhancing its global reach. Ancillary revenues through home video and streaming platforms further extended its longevity and accessibility, allowing new generations to discover the tale. Marketing campaigns strategically emphasized the film's blend of thrilling sports action and intimate character drama. Trailers and promotional materials highlighted Secretariat's legendary status alongside Penny Chenery's inspirational journey, appealing to both sports enthusiasts and those drawn to emotional storytelling. The film's branding leveraged the iconic imagery of the Triple Crown and the mythos of the horse, while engaging audiences with behind-the-scenes content and cast interviews that humanized the story. Critically, the film's craftsmanship, Its blending of filmmaking techniques with narrative depth was frequently cited as a key to its resonance. Reviews praised the seamless integration of technical elements with emotional arcs, noting how the cinematography, sound design, and editing worked in concert to create a fully immersive experience. The film's atmosphere was described as evocative and richly textured, a testament to the collaborative artistry behind its creation. In reflecting on the filmmaking techniques employed, it becomes clear that the film is a testament to cinema's capacity to transform history into living, breathing art. Every choice from camera angles to lighting, from sound layering to pacing, serves the story's emotional truth. These techniques invite viewers not only to witness but to inhabit the narrative world, to feel the pounding hooves, the rising stakes, and the tender moments that define the human spirit. Ultimately, the marriage of technical mastery and heartfelt storytelling elevates the film beyond a simple sports biography. It becomes a cinematic meditation on resilience, hope, and the pursuit of greatness. The film's success at the box office and enduring audience affection attest to the power of such an approach, where craft and heart collide, and where the legend of Secretariat gallops not only through history but through our collective imagination. The air is thick with the echoes of pounding hooves and the distant roar of cheering crowds, but as the final scenes fade and the credits roll, what lingers is far more than just the spectacle of a race won. This film, woven from threads of history, heart, and hope, has taken us on a journey not just through the thunderous finish lines and sun-drenched pastures, but through the intimate, often unseen moments that define courage and legacy. We began by stepping into the world of Meadow Stable, a place where tradition and tenacity live side by side. Through the eyes of Penny Chenery, we witnessed a woman stepping into a role laden with expectation and skepticism, a woman whose quiet strength and unyielding belief would redefine what it means to lead. Her evolution from hesitant inheritor to commanding figure was mirrored by the growth of Secretariat, a colt whose every stride embodied potential unleashed through trust, discipline, and sheer will. We explored the rich tapestry of settings, from the pastoral stillness of farm life to the electric chaos of the racetrack, each locale painting a unique emotional landscape. Cinematography captured not only the grand sweep of a race, but the subtle flicker of doubt in a glance, the warmth of sunlight on a well-worn barn wall, the silent conversations between human and horse. Lighting, color grading, and sound design wove these images into an immersive experience, inviting us to feel the pulse of the story as deeply as see it unfold. Delving into filmmaking techniques, we uncovered the artistry behind the camera, the deliberate choices in lens and movement, the choreography of action and stillness, the blending of practical effects with subtle digital artistry. The film's rhythm, shaped by careful editing and a stirring score, guided us through adrenaline and introspection alike, transforming history into a living, breathing narrative. The collaboration between director, cast, and crew, marked by dedication, innovation, and moments of serendipity, breathed life into the legend, making it both epic and intimately human. The production's behind-the-scenes stories revealed a world as rich and unpredictable as the story it told. From serendipitous weather changes that enhanced scenes to unexpected animal behaviors that lent authenticity, the journey of making this film was itself a testament to perseverance and creativity. These anecdotes remind us that filmmaking is a dynamic art, shaped by human passion and the unpredictable grace of chance. Reflecting on the film's impact, it's clear that its success lies not just in recounting a legendary racehorse's achievements, but in exploring the complexities of belief, ambition, and connection. Penny's story challenges us to consider the barriers faced and overcome, the quiet strength it takes to stand firm amid doubt. Secretariat's gallop across the finish line becomes a metaphor for the pursuit of greatness that resides within us all, reminding us that history is shaped by those who dare to dream and act. As we close this chapter, I invite you to carry forward the spirit of exploration and empathy that this film inspires. There are countless stories waiting to be uncovered, layers of meaning hidden beneath the surface of every film. Here at Frameshift, we dive beyond the spectacle to discover the poetry, the symbolism, and the human truths that make cinema a mirror to our lives. If this journey has sparked your curiosity or touched something within you, please like this video and subscribe to Frameshift. Together, we will continue to unravel the art and craft of storytelling, exploring films through lenses both critical and compassionate. Share your thoughts below, what moments resonated with you, what questions stirred your mind, and what stories you long to explore next. In every frame lies a world, and in every story, a heartbeat. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. Until next time, keep watching with your eyes wide open and your heart ready to be moved. The world of cinema often feels like a tapestry woven from countless threads, stories told, visions realized, and above all, the people whose lives and voices breathe life into those stories. In the case of this film, the cast stands as a vibrant constellation at its heart, each actor bringing a unique light and depth that transformed the script into a living, breathing narrative. Their interviews, rich with insight and emotion, offer a window into the alchemy of performance and the personal journeys entwined with their characters. And beyond the cameras and sound stages, the audience's responses, sometimes quietly profound, sometimes passionately vocal, paint a picture of a film that transcended its genre to touch something deeply human and universal. Diane Lane's portrayal of Penny Chenery is the emotional fulcrum around which much of the film turns. From the moment she steps into frame, there is a palpable sincerity that anchors the narrative. In interviews, Lane speaks with a humility and thoughtfulness that mirrors her character's own quiet strength. She recalls the initial draw to the role, not just the story of a legendary racehorse, but the story of a woman navigating uncharted territory with courage and grace. Lane describes immersing herself in Penny's world, spending time with those who knew the real Chenery and learning the rhythms of horse racing, a realm that was at once foreign and fascinating. Her reflections reveal a profound respect for Penny's resilience and a desire to honor that legacy with authenticity. In one memorable interview, Lane recounts how a moment on set, a quiet morning scene where Penny watches Secretariat in the paddock, felt like a sacred pause, a space where actor and character melded into a shared experience of hope and determination. Alongside Lane, John Malkovich's role as Lucien Laurin adds a textured layer to the film's emotional landscape. Known for his intense, often cerebral performances, Malkovich approached Laurin with a blend of respect and curiosity. His interviews reveal a man drawn not just to the character's role as trainer, but to his subtle, guiding presence, a figure of wisdom tempered by the grit of experience. Malkovich shares stories of on-set collaborations, where his conversations with Lane and the director helped shape scenes into nuanced explorations of trust and partnership. He speaks candidly about the challenge of embodying a real person without caricature, seeking instead to reveal the humanity beneath the public persona. His portrayal is infused with moments of quiet strength, reflecting the unsung labor that underpins every public triumph. The supporting cast, from the jockeys to the family members, enriches the story with diverse voices and perspectives. For example, Nelson Ellis, who portrayed a jockey, spoke in interviews about the physical and emotional demands of his role. He trained extensively in riding and racing techniques, not merely to replicate action, but to inhabit the mindset of a competitor whose fate hangs by fractions of a second. Ellis reflected on the camaraderie and competition inherent in the racing world, drawing parallels to the broader human experience of striving and sacrifice. These insights deepened the authenticity of his performance and offered audiences a glimpse into the lives of those who live and breathe the sport beyond the headlines. Behind the scenes, the cast's interactions often mirrored their characters' relationships, lending the production a warm and collaborative spirit. Diane Lane has recounted how she and Malkovich developed a rhythm of mutual support and creative exchange, their shared commitment elevating scenes that explored the delicate balance of leadership and mentorship. The actors fostered a sense of family on set, a dynamic that infused the film with an organic chemistry that resonates on screen. Moments of levity, such as impromptu dance sessions or late-night script discussions, became touchstones of connection amidst the pressures of production. Audience reactions to the film have been as varied and textured as the story itself. At screenings, many viewers have expressed a deep emotional connection to Penny's journey, a narrative of resilience and hope that transcends the specifics of horse racing to touch universal themes. Letters and comments from viewers often mention how the film inspired them to confront their own challenges with renewed determination. One recurring thread in audience reviews is the appreciation for the film's balance of spectacle and intimacy. The thrill of the races is tempered by quiet, heartfelt moments that invite reflection. This blend has made the film accessible to a broad spectrum of viewers, from sports enthusiasts to those drawn to character-driven dramas. Critics have praised Diane Lane's performance as a standout, noting her ability to convey strength and vulnerability in equal measure. Reviews highlight how her portrayal elevates the film beyond a conventional sports biography, offering a nuanced exploration of gender, leadership, and family. John Malkovich's contribution has also been widely lauded, with many noting the depth and subtlety he brings to the role of Laurin. The supporting cast receives commendation for their authenticity and commitment, enriching the film's emotional texture. The film's reception among horse racing communities and aficionados has been particularly meaningful. Many have noted the respectful and detailed depiction of racing culture, the training, the camaraderie, the high stakes, elements that often go unnoticed in mainstream portrayals. Screenings at racing events and festivals have been met with enthusiastic applause, and discussions among fans reveal appreciation for the film's balance of factual accuracy and narrative artistry. International audiences have connected with the film's universal themes of perseverance and faith. In markets with strong horse racing traditions, such as the UK and Japan, the film sparked renewed interest in Secretariat's legacy, often accompanied by local screenings featuring expert panels and discussions. This global resonance underscores the film's capacity to bridge cultural divides through storytelling that speaks to shared human experiences. Interviews with the filmmakers complement those of the cast, revealing the collaborative spirit and shared vision that guided the production. Director Andrzej Bartkowiak has spoken about his desire to blend the grandeur of racing with the intimacy of personal struggle, crafting a film that moves audiences both visually and emotionally. Producers and writers discuss the challenges of adapting a complex true story into a coherent narrative that honors its subjects while engaging viewers. Their reflections illuminate the delicate balance between historical fidelity and cinematic storytelling. Behind the public-facing interviews, numerous anecdotes from the production team shed light on the daily rhythms and challenges of making the film. Crew members describe long hours on set, the logistics of coordinating horse sequences, and moments of unexpected joy that arose amid the demanding schedule. These stories reveal a production fueled not only by technical expertise, but by passion and respect for the material. In fan forums and social media, discussions about the film continue to thrive. Viewers dissect favorite scenes, debate thematic interpretations, and share personal stories of how the film touched their lives. This ongoing engagement speaks to the film's lasting impact and its role as a catalyst for conversations about courage, legacy, and the bonds between humans and animals. Ultimately, the cast's performances, enriched by their dedication and insight, form the emotional backbone of the film. Their interviews offer a rare glimpse into the artistry and humanity behind the characters, inviting audiences to see beyond the screen into the lives and passions that shape the story. The audience's heartfelt responses affirm the film's power to inspire, to connect, and to remind us all of the extraordinary stories that reside within ordinary lives. This cinematic journey, alive with voices and reflections, reminds us that every film is a living conversation, between creators and viewers, between history and imagination. Through the cast, their stories, and the audience's embrace, the legend of Secretariat gallops on, a timeless testament to the spirit of determination and the magic of storytelling.